Idolatry is abounding and discernment is lacking. Well, that's one of the truest statements I've seen on the internet here in recent days. Hey everyone, Johnny here, Don't Speak News. We're just going to get into it like we always do. Here we go. First thing, Trump says he hates his opponents at the Charlie Kirk Memorial attended by tens of thousands. So Trump says he hates his opponents, and yet everyone thinks he's a born-again believer, that he's a Christian. Not everybody, but a lot of Christians, a lot of evangelicals believe that. And yet, where did Jesus say we're supposed to hate? He said the opposite. We're supposed to love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us. And yet here's Trump saying that he hates his opponents. And the thing I found appalling, and the thing that really drew me to talk about this, idolatry abounding and discernment lacking today, to start off with that, is the responses I saw to this hate, this hate part of the speech that Donald Trump put up about hating his opponents. And when that was put up on a Christian Facebook page, I think it's End Times News or End Times Headlines, something like that. I looked at the comments underneath this particular posting, where they talked about this being cringe. Well, it's a lot more than cringe. It's showing you who he really is. But anyway, I couldn't believe the amount of people that typed underneath this particular article. Oh, he was just kidding. Don't you know he was just kidding? I saw that probably every 4 or 5 comments. Someone would chime in again. Oh, he was just kidding. Come on, guys. And they just keep excusing it away. And so discernment is definitely lacking in today's world. Absolutely. And in the church especially. And then we go over here. Take a look at this, guys. It's all hidden in plain sight. Oh, she's not folding her thumb in, Johnny. I don't care. It's the sign of Satan. Plain and simple. So, would love to hear a rational explanation for her to be doing this other than showing her allegiance to Satan right in front of the whole world. I mean, look, they even have the same colors in the background. Yes, indeed. Trump wearing his power tie, as always. And there's Anton LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan here in America, doing the same hand sign. So just because she's got her thumb sticking out doesn't mean a thing. Gene Simmons from Kiss, the rock band Kiss, likes to say that too. Oh, it just means love. Give me a break. Everybody knows what it really means. And then, of course, we have this. Elon Musk saying that Charlie Kirk was showing people the light and he was killed by the dark. Ordo ab chao, or ordo ad chaos, involves destroying something for something new to emerge. This is the process of alchemical transformation of turning lead to gold. The false light is upon us, my friends. Yes, it is. Don't fall for it. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived by these people. Look at their hand signs once again, right? And then saying part of the Lord's Prayer here, Elon is. What a joke. He's about as antichrist as you can get. And he says, for Charlie, as they're giving their upside down triangles, hand signs there, showing who they actually belong to. So there you go, guys. And then there was another one here. I want to scroll up. There we go. Stephen Miller talking about the dragon being awakened. Oh, yes, he has. Yes, he has, but it's not a good thing. So the Charlie Kirk Memorial Service was a political rally riddled with aggressive military recruitment tactics cloaked in Christianity so that the hearers can feel that they're on a mission from God. Almost every speaker was using Bible verses and gave a sermon. Some of it was blasphemous and used language such as Charlie is immortal, he died for all of us so that we can be free, he's a biblical prophet, and so on. He's like Moses, died on the mountain so we can reach the promised land, and there you go. So Stephen Miller also declared war on anyone that opposes them, the Trump administration and this Christian movement, and boldly revealed the dragon has been awakened. Indeed he has. And he's at the memorial service, or he was. His name's Donald Trump. Dragon's in him. Dragon's giving him his power. Why do you think Kanye West, when he came out of the meeting with Trump back in his first term, said he's got dragon power? What's sad is so many are falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. and think this is a sign of revival, when in reality, the Bible tells us of a great falling away or apostasy at the time of the revealing of the Antichrist. I don't know why everybody keeps saying and keeps bringing it to my attention that they think that we have a big revival coming. Nothing like that is talked about when it comes to prophecy. Prophecy talks about a great falling away or apostasy at the time of the end, not a revival. My goodness. Once again, it goes back to this. Idolatry is abounding, discernment is lacking. So many believers have Donald Trump as their idol, have Charlie Kirk as their idol, have the American flag as their idol, and they pledge allegiance to it every day and take oaths to it. Things that we're not supposed to do. Take no oaths, the Bible says. But nobody tells us that in the church. They don't teach us those things. Because then we wouldn't be so anxious to join the military and go die for the bankers and the oil monarchs and so on. It's just insane. But anyway, now we'll get to some more Trump news here. Trump says Ukraine can win back all territory lost to Russia. Wow. So talk about a flip-flop. The peace president, he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize and all this garbage. Give me a break. So he's meeting with Zelensky on the sidelines of the UN meeting today. And Trump says Ukraine can win back all of the territory lost to Russia. And he said, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Unreal. When he was telling him, just last month that they needed to concede all that land to Russia and just end this war and stop being silly about it, right? Well, now he's completely changed that position. U.S. President Trump said on September 23rd that Ukraine should go on the offensive against Russia and reclaim all occupied territories. After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it's causing Russia, which is absolutely a lie, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form, Trump wrote on a post on Truth Social. Unbelievable. Economic trouble? Where? In Russia? Where? My wife watches a couple of Russians that live in Siberia and other places on YouTube, and they're having no economic troubles. She would tell me if they were having all kinds of troubles over there because she tells me about these people she follows, and she likes to look at the things they cook and eat and, their culture. So she watches their videos that shows about daily life in Russia. And not one of them have come out and said that they're having all this economic trouble. In fact, their groceries are much cheaper than what we can buy here. I was absolutely shocked when I watched that last month. Maybe I'll share one of those episodes with you guys one day so you can see for yourselves. They're not having this economic trouble. That's a complete bald-faced lie. Not saying that there isn't any trouble and that there isn't any inflation or anything, but not to the levels that the West would like you to believe. So the president said that with the backing from Europe and NATO and enough time and patience, it's very much an option for Ukraine to drive Russian forces out and restore its borders. Why not, he said. This is Trump speaking. Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win, he says. 3.5 years. Well, it hasn't been quite that yet, I don't think, but, well, I guess it has almost. So, just interesting, 3.5 years considering the time frame that we're in right now. Anyway, he said this is not distinguishing Russia. In fact, it is very much making them look like a paper tiger. Anyway, Trump said Russia's faltering economy, shortages at home, and growing public discontent could tip the balance further in Ukraine's favor. Once again, that's not going on either. He described Ukraine as having great spirit and growing stronger as the war drags on, while warning the Russian President Vladimir Putin faces big economic trouble. So, Trump supporters, why does Trump suddenly sound like Joe Biden when it comes to Ukraine and Russia and all this? Because this could very well just be Joe Biden talking. It's the same language. He's completely flipped from the so-called peace president who's going to end this Ukraine-Russia war within 24 hours of taking office to now he's telling him this is the time for Ukraine to act instead. Trump wrote, adding that he wishes both countries well and that the United States would continue to supply weapons to NATO and for NATO to do what they want with them. So this is a breaking story and will be updated. I'll keep my eyes on things as always, guys, but wow, there it is. Trump says Ukraine can win back all of its territory that they lost to Russia. Once again, idolatry is abounding, discernment is lacking. People will cheer now, even though they were against the wars before Trump took office. So, but they just cheer everything he does, his followers. It's absolutely amazing how deceived some folks are. And very sad as well. So, um, this little clip here I was going to talk about too. Trump saying that he was very proud of Operation Warp Speed, one of the greatest things the president's ever done for the country. And you can say the world, because when we came up with that, you know what? The whole world opened up. Yes, it did. Opened up to be poisoned. Wow. And to be marked. Just saying. And here's Trump's bipolar foreign policy. When they asked him at this press conference if NATO should shoot down Russian jets, U.S. President Donald Trump said, "Yes, I do." Moments later, at the same press conference, when asked the question, same question, Trump said it depends on circumstances. Just 2 hours earlier, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, "We respond to intrusions, but not unless they're attacking." A consistent position? Question mark? No, not at all. But it is what it is. That's what we have in office now. So now Trump says Ukraine can win it all back, all the territory they lost to Russia, which I'm assuming includes Crimea, which voted to get out of Ukraine. But anyway, that's where it stands now. And last but not least for this particular segment, Thailand freezes over 3 million bank accounts as of today. And so we talked about this last week. That Vietnam was going through a major banking freeze until you turn everything in to be digital. They want to switch over to all digital money and all digital everything. And now Thailand, like I said last week, has done the same thing. I had heard rumors that they were going to do it, and now, of course, they have done it. So they say Thailand has become a case study for the use of biometric data in every facet of life. Every banking transaction is monitored and scrutinized. Any perceived discrepancy is flagged as fraud and punished without due process. Regulations have overwhelmed the system, resulting in a full-fledged banking crisis. Over 3 million Thai bank accounts were frozen instantaneously without warning as a result of this government overreach. Transaction denied. You contact your bank to see why the payment failed, only to learn that your account has been frozen. All of your accounts, for that matter. The bank is investigating you for suspicious activity and potential money laundering or fraud. There was no warning call or letter, and there's no clarification as to what transaction was flagged. You're completely locked out of your accounts and lost the ability to purchase. You cannot fill your gas tank. You cannot purchase groceries. And you've been completely removed from the financial system and do not know when or if you'll regain access to your funds. This is the reality for millions of people banking in Thailand. The Bank of Thailand, with the Cybercrime Investigation Bureau and Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, began an excessive crackdown on perceived fraud and streamlined the process under the premise of safeguarding the banking sector. I mean, bullshit. If they wanted to safeguard the banking sector, they would have been busting all of these money laundering drug dealers and child sex traffickers a long time ago. This is all about top-down control. I'm so sick of it when they're saying, "Oh, we're doing it for your safety. We're doing it for you because there's fraud and stuff on the internet." It's all a bunch of hogwash. There's always going to be fraud on the internet. And now that they're getting all these records centralized in the cloud for everybody, they're going to be a lot easier to hack too, because they'll all be in one place. You just watch when that starts, when that starts happening. So now thousands of accounts are frozen each week. Panic has ensued. Retailers are no longer accepting cards, demanding payment in cash, as they too are worried they will be removed from the banking system. So it's massive chaos. Imagine what it's going to be like here in America when that happens, because it's coming, and it may come as soon as October, guys, next month. That's what I keep hearing about. I'm not saying for sure, not telling you to panic or anything like that. I'm just telling you to be aware. Not afraid, but aware. Remember, God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So stay grounded in Christ. Stand firm in the faith. Be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Don't rely on just your own strength. Now, Assistant Governor of the BOT, Bank of Thailand, Daruni Seju, publicly stated that the central bank is working to immediately unlock wrongly affected accounts, and that Seju insists the new measures will enable the banks to verify accounts in under 48 hours. Confidence in the government and the entire banking system evaporated. People rationally fear that their account will be targeted next without warning. Government overreach has backfired, and the people are removing themselves from the banking system entirely. Yes, I saw a video this morning on YouTube talking about that very thing and how people are stashing cash in their mattresses and stuff at home. And unfortunately, some of them are being robbed because people hear about it and then go and rob them. Anyway, this phenomenon is not limited to Thailand. As we know, Vietnam recently erased 86 million unverified bank accounts. Governments are demanding banks track every transaction. Yeah, because of the World Economic Forum and their demands. They're tracing each account back to individual citizens using biometric data. And so that way they can turn off your accounts anytime they feel like you're out of line. The government believes these provisions will prevent capital from leaving the radar and therefore taxation. Yeah, of course, they do want to collect untaxed monies. Instead, governments are propelling the cycle amid this private wave as the people cannot possibly trust the current financial system. No, because just like this has been saying, you don't know from one second to the next when your account's going to be closed, frozen, or just disappears, as it has in Vietnam and now Thailand. And I guarantee you guys, it's going to spread out from here. As Trump has taken this OpenAI and Palantir Stargate software all over the world. He's taken it to Saudi Arabia, the UAE, the UK, Europe itself. I mean, it's everywhere, guys. It's going up everywhere, this Stargate system. Might as well just call it the beast system because that's what it is. And that will be it for this report. That'll be it for now. Don't forget, don'tspeaknews.com is home base for everything that we do. And we've been around 14 years now. I've been doing this 14 years anyway. Don't Speak News itself has been around since 2017. But I just want to take a second to thank everybody for all the prayers and all the support you've been sending my way over this past week. It's really meant a lot. And over the past 14 years, some of you have been with me a very, very long time. So one of you commented that you've been watching me for years now. And that blows me away every time I see a comment like that because it just reiterates to me how long I've been doing this. And you'd think I'd be a lot bigger now, right? But of course, YouTube took away my accounts, my two big accounts. I had Don't Speak News 1 and 2, and they each had over 15,000 at the time they were taken down. And I just got in fact, that reminds me of a story. Let's go back to Telegram here real quick and let's see if I can find it. Where would that, if I can find my page, there we go. I saw a rumor this morning that Google admitted the fact that, there it is. Google now admits it censored Americans under the Biden administration and promises to reinstate thousands of accounts banned for political speech. Okay. Well, I wasn't banned so much for political speech as I was banned more so for medical misinformation because of what I was reporting about on the vaccines at the time. And so I wonder if Google will admit that it censored Americans unfairly for that as well and reinstate my accounts. Believe me, folks, I'm not holding my breath that they will, but they could. And what will be interesting to see if they do that is if all the videos are still there. I doubt it. I would doubt it, but we'll have to see. Be very interesting if that happens. But like I said, I'm not going to hold my breath over it. Anyway, don'tspeaknews.com is home base for all that we do. If you'd like to contact me or subscribe to the channel, there's a subscription box at the end of every article. There's also one that will pop up as you're reading an article with just one. Or you can click on this and subscribe through this tab here. There's a box here. Click on subscribe, and that way, whenever there's a new posting, you'll be notified. And then email for the website is don'tspeaknews@protonmail. And that's the only one that I use for that. And then channel support, if you'd like to support us, that tab is here. And all the links to support us are right there. We thank you very, very much for that because, like I said, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Then Rumble, BitChute, and Telegram, these are all the different places you can find us, including our YouTube account, which will be up for as long as they allow it to be up, I guess, or for as long as God wants it to stay up. But they're changing the algorithms every day. But maybe they'll reinstate the main channel. They took that down. The first You Don't Speak News, I think, was taken down in 2020. And Don't Speak News 2 was taken down a couple years later, like 2022, towards the end of the year. And that's when we also lost Patreon. So it's just amazing. We've been taken down from so many different platforms. And that's why I don't put myself back up on them, because it'll just take me down again. Like Twitter, like Instagram. I mean, it was really quick with those. They took me down rather quickly. But anyway, that will be it for now. God bless. Take care. Johnny Storm. Don't Speak News.